Welcome back to Better or Worse Than Transformers, where we take a TV show or a movie and tell you whether it's better or worse than the most mediocre movie ever made, Michael Bay's Transformers. I'm your host, Joseph. With me are my co-host, Ian.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Christian.
Hey, how's it going?
TJ Miller, when did you get in the room?
It's been a long week. Real long week.
Nice little gruff to your voice. I like it.
You know, I definitely, I think if I were to go into voice acting, this would be my shtick. This is what I would do all the time.
It's arguably better than your regular voice. It's more interesting.
I actually would agree with that as well. Like, I would be okay if I sounded like this all the time, but it hurts to speak.
You sound like an old
Good thing we're only
fisherman grandfather.
Yeah, I feel like I sound more like an old woman than an old man, but yeah, I don't know why, but I just had this image of I was like, yeah, I just sound like Ursula right now. And why in the world does Ursula sound this way under the water? I don't know. But Ian, you got any news, man?
Whoa, hang on. Before we get into that, this week we're going to be starting off our April Marvel Spectacular.
Oh, yeah, it's a good name.
Thank you. Well, I also want to
Trademark.
I'm also calling it Infinity War for Dummies. I'm using all the titles in the world.
I'm fine with that as well.
That's also good. Where we're going to go back through in honor of Infinity War, which is coming out in the last week of this month on the
April 27th.
April 27th.
Yep.
We're going to go back through the 18 fucking Marvel movies that have come up to this point.
Is there 18?
There's 18. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. It's a decade
It's a lot of movies.
It is a decade of films. Until you, just in case you haven't been like us and most of the world and seen every single one, we're going to go back through and tell you what happens in each of them and what might be relevant for Infinity War coming up. Before we get into that, Ian, you want to get us started in some of the news this week?
Yeah, it's kind of a light week. We don't have much. The one of the things is Infinity War came out with a new TV spot, and it kind of highlights Wakanda.
It's definitely reactionary.
It leans into Black Panther pretty good. Okoye gets a really good line about Starbucks and the Olympics, which I like. I think his movie's going to be funny.
And T'Challa leads the chant, which is just fucking awesome. He's standing in front of all the tribes of Wakanda and leading a big war chant, and it's really fucking cool.
And Baku's in there, which is cool. I don't know. I'm at the point now I don't want to watch it anymore because I don't like that. I like that you saw Captain America meet Bucky, but I kind of want to see that in the context of the movie.
Whole scene. And
I keep saying that I don't want to see anything else, but every time I see something else, I get more excited about it.
It looks so good.
I try to stay away, but in the moment, like you said, you'd be like, oh, new TV spot. And you just naturally like, oh, I have to see this. Like, it's mandatory. And you watch it and you're like, I really wish I had waited. We're so close now.
3 weeks out. But, yeah, it's short. I think there's a shot with Scarlet Witch. Looks like he's fighting Proximity Midnight, which is one of the Thanos' Black Order. Like, he's got a gang kind of thing with him. And it looks like they're probably going to split up and go at different Avengers. But we had seen Ebony Maw in the last one going at Doctor Strange. And this one, it looks like
Proximity Midnight
is going to go after Black Widow at some point.
I think they're all hunting for Vision.
One of those is Peter Dinklage, I think, is what I'm hearing.
He's definitely in the movie in some capacity.
I hear there's a CGI big Goonie guy that he might be playing as one of Thanos's. And these are all, I guess, what I read is that they're all his children. Kind of like Gamora and Nebula were, but they while they got away, these ones didn't.
Like the Adopted, where he killed their entire home world.
Exactly. So Gamora would be on the Black Hand if she was still with Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh man, sense. Are we gonna get a flashback of when she might have been on that team?
Oh, I think so.
100%. Because they have that one where he adopts her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually going to be pretty cool.
Can we see Nebula before she was an android?
Nebula goes out in this movie for sure.
Yeah, you think so?
I think it gives it. He's got to take out some people, man.
Oh, he's
because you know how at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, she says, I'm going after Thanos? Well, it looks like he's going to get the Power Stone either early in the movie or before it starts. Maybe he
Well, that's actually...
She met up with him on Xandar at some point,
We'll get to it in our Phase 2 review. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's one of the things I wanted to ask about if the consensus is that he's going after Vision. Because if he's going after Vision, does that mean that he has the other ones already?
It looks like he only has 2.
Well, I mean, that's what it says in the trailer,
but
it looks like early on, he either before the movie starts, he has the Power Stone, so he gets it from Xandar, and he's gonna get the mines, the Tesseract from Loki, which was on that ship that the Ragnarok, Sting credit really early on. I think that's where the whole.
I think that's where the movie starts. Actually, is Thanos.
Where did I read that? Because you know how the Hulk ends up in Doctor Strange's thing. Someone told me that Loki might send him there with the reality or the Space Stone. He has it. Because I hear the Hulk, the whole is he did an interview. I read it somewhere, and he's like, "I'm like Chicken Little in this movie. I'm down here warning everyone how bad Thanos is, because I bet you he's seen it in the beginning, where like the ship with all the Asgardians. I bet you Thanos wrecks them.
I like to imagine that.
So like he's the one who's convincing Iron Man and all these. Hey, this guy's like serious.
I like to imagine that Thanos punched the Hulk out of him.
I think that's possible.
Whoa!
No, I think that's. I've read that. That's probably what's gonna happen.
I think that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Punches him right down to earth. You know what I mean?
That would be crazy. What else we got?
What's going on with the box office?
Yeah, the box office. A Quiet Place opened up. It's like the new horror movie directed by John Krasinski.
With his real life wife Emily Blunt.
Yeah, and it opened to 45 million, which is good. Second place is Ready Player One. It's doing really well, and I know it's making a lot of money in China. They love those fucking video games over there. Black Panther overtook Titanic for long-term domestic, U.S. money. So I think the only two movies now it hasn't beaten is Avatar and Force Awakens. So it's like made the most.
Yeah, I think it'll probably end its run here soon. I don't. Maybe Marvel will want to compete with itself, but
yeah, no, I think it's going to end.
I wouldn't be surprised if its last week is April 20th, and then
April 26th, last day you see Black Panther.
Oh yeah, for sure. 'Cause, we still have it. It's making money still. But yeah, A Quiet Place is especially getting good reviews. We're still trying to watch it, but I'm excited. I want to see it. It looks really good.
It's so good.
there's no time. There's only Marvel stuff now.
Didn't you look at what else did John Krasinski do?
Yeah, so this is actually not John Krasinski's first directorial effort. His first one was a movie called Brief Interviews with Hideous Men, which was it's based off a novel, and it was actually one of like the original movies that was on Netflix streaming when Netflix streaming had no good movies. It's pretty good. It's I don't actually know how to describe it. It's a woman doing a feminist related research paper and also trying to like figure out her own personal love life, which sounds terrible, but it actually turns out to be a pretty good movie. And he also directed a movie called The Hollers, which I don't know why I've seen both of these movies. But it has character actress Margot Martindale. What's the South African guy that's fucking at everything? He's in District 9.
Yeah. Oh, I know you're talking about. I don't know his name, though.
Yeah, it's going to hurt me. Richard Jenkins is in it. And I want to say not John Mayer. Josh Groban's in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a weird... They're both weird movies, but they're both pretty good.
Charlton Copley.
Charlton Copley. Speaking of, I want to give props to Ian.
Chappie.
I want to give props to Ian because as someone who edits this on a weekly basis, Ian has an almost comic proclivity for mispronouncing names. But he just tore through Guillermo del Toro last week, which I have a hard time saying. I have to prep myself for it every time, and I was just very impressed with it.
I appreciate the kind words.
I wanted
there.
to let you know.
I think you even rolled the R at the end.
You might have. I don't know.
I always remember thinking, I was like, whoa, yeah, I got really into that.
There's some flourish there. But yeah, so also related to John Krasinski, what was the news you had about the...
What's Emily Blunt's best movie?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I was reading the list, and I would not go Edge of Tomorrow.
What would you
And
go?
they didn't either. They went Devil Wears Prada, which I wouldn't. That's what broke her out. But Sicario is the best. And that is the only answer to the best Emily Blunt movie.
I don't think it's the only answer because I still think Edge of Tomorrow is a really
There are a lot of good
really
movies
awesome
on there.
movie.
And I don't have a problem with saying Devil Wears Prada, but she's not the main person in Devil Wears Prada.
Apparently, she won a bunch of awards for her role in that movie, though.
Really?
I didn't know that. She
she's
was like the
hilarious.
breakout.
Yeah.
I guess her and who's the lady I hate that is in that movie?
Meryl Streep?
Catwoman.
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, yeah.
I thought you hated Meryl Streep.
No, I love
Who
Meryl
the fuck
Streep.
are you?
No. Yeah, I hate that. I hate Anne Hathaway.
I've
Yeah, a
heard
lot of
that-
people do.
She seems awful in real life, and I hate that she won for Les Mis
No, you
for
don't.
like 20 minutes of cutting her hair off.
That movie...
As we've had this debate before, they're pretty incredible 20 minutes.
I also want to say this is coming from the same guy who just like 5 minutes before he started recording was bragging on Sterling K. Brown's performance in Black Panther, even though he's also only in it for like
I watched
30 minutes.
30 minutes. I was at, I watched some of Black Panther, and I fucking love that movie.
He's like only in the beginning and then the one scene where...
You can have a short role that's also very impactful.
Yeah,
That's
agreed.
just- I don't know. I don't even think she's the best. I don't even think that's the. I hate that song. I don't like that song.
Oh, just literally,
No.
So
literally
we have to move on.
Yeah,
because
like,
I'm
there's no
getting-
time.
I'm getting
I love
mad.
There's no time.
Who's better is Sacha Baron Cohen, man. Where's his?
Stop
I like
talking.
His,
Just
I
stop
like his songs
talking.
better.
I
Russell Crowe.
like Emily Blunt. I like John Krasinski. while they were doing press for A Quiet Place, someone approached them because both of them have a history with Marvel. Emily Blunt was like the number 2 choice for Black Widow, I think. And John Krasinski was like made it really far in Captain America, like auditioning for Captain America, like to the point where he put on the costume. Like they were doing screen tests.
Did you hear the story?
Like if Chris Evans had said no, it was going to be John Krasinski.
I heard he was on Leno, right? Or I don't know, maybe it was one of the late nights they still do.
It's not Leno.
Yeah, right. I guess it's Jimmy Fallon. And he was saying he put on the suit and he's like, "Hey, I'm feeling like Captain America, feeling like Captain America." And he's like, Chris Hemsworth walked by and he's like, "Oh, I look stupid."
Yeah. But someone asked him the question if, they could work together, would they both be open to return to Marvel? And they play, the Fantastic Four. He'd be Reed Richards and she'd be Sue Storm. And I think that's just awesome fan casting, especially because we've gotten it wrong, like 3 times now. I would definitely be down for the both of them. I always want him to be a superhero.
Yeah, he would be cool. I really like I said, I was telling you, like, I don't like when Tom Hiddleston kind of beefed up and tried to do the alpha thing in, like, the King Kong movie. I didn't buy it. But him beefing up for, like, Jack Ryan and in this movie.
13 Hours.
Like, he just looks legit. Like, you know what I mean? I completely get past the Jim Halpert. You know what I mean?
It is weird because a lot of people, when they have those breakout roles, you can never move on from it. But John Krasinski, I do. I buy.
He put on some muscle and a beard, and he looks like a badass now.
Yeah.
What's the name of the guy who's going to be Shazam? Who's
Zachary Levi?
Zachary Levi. So I just watched an interview with John Krasinski where it's that one where you're peeling off the Google searches.
Yeah.
And one of the questions was, "Is John Krasinski Chuck?"
Yeah.
And I now that we're talking about it, I'm realizing that they're both kind of doing the same thing of the beefing up, trying to be in more. We're gonna find out if Zachary Levi can accomplish the same level.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work out.
I don't know if it is either.
Yeah, if you follow Zachary Levi on Twitter, he's very open with his fans on Twitter, and almost daily someone asks him what was it like making The Office. Like people mistake him and John Krasinski all the time.
That's funny.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, no, they look very similar. I like both Jim and Chuck. So,
and then what you said? Who did you say for Human Torch? Which was great?
Zac Efron.
Yeah, I would love that.
Boss Logic on Twitter.
He needs to be like kind of a douchebag, and Zac Efron's funny too.
Zac Efron is funny.
Yeah,
he is.
Zac Efron's it's such an interesting thing to me because we completely missed the mark on him. Like originally, he was like this little teen heartthrob kind of thing. It turned out he is an amazing comedy actor.
He's funny.
And everything he's in nowadays, I really enjoy Zac Efron movies.
Well, he's got the Ryan Reynolds problem, which is one of the reasons we've talked about, not on this podcast, that again, I know you guys have both dampened on Deadpool since it came out, but one of the reasons I think Deadpool works better is because he has the mask on, because the fact that he's handsome distracts you from the fact that he's also really funny.
Could be, yeah.
And I think the same thing goes for Zac Efron, though it's played really well in the movie Neighbors.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I totally like that casting. We just need a thing.
Yeah, I don't have anybody for the thing.
John Cena.
Just because he's giant. I don't know. I'm still down for bringing Michael Chiklis back and doing that role.
Dude, I love The Shield. Don't get me started.
Let's not get you started.
The Shield is real fucking good.
It's not, but
you guys are crazy.
Don't have time for this.
You're right.
No time.
I don't have time.
So, Toy Story 4.
Ooh.
Which I honestly didn't even know that there was going to be a Toy Story 4.
I told you the date, but I don't remember what it was.
Has a new release date of June 21st, 2019.
Yeah, it's just a year away. Probably see something from it when Incredibles 2 comes out, I think.
I'm so curious. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I feel like the strength of Pixar is they're good at making new properties. And I know they've done sequels before, but I feel like they put a nice bow on Toy Story. They came back after however many years, 8-10 years after Toy Story 2, and made a really good. It was a good children's movie, but it was also a good nod for the people who started on Toy Story. And so I don't know why they're coming back to it, but fuck, it's probably going to be good. I don't know.
The thing with Pixar is for a long time there were no sequels, and then over the last 15 years we've gotten a bunch, and most of them we don't need. I think for a long time the only sequel was Toy Story 2. And I know people crap on it, but Toy Story 2 is still better than...
Do people crap on Toy Story 2?
Yeah.
I like Toy Story 2.
I do too. I still think it's better than 90% of what comes out of the movies. And Toy Story is such an interesting franchise because you have 3 movies that are all very good. Normally there's one that sucks, but it doesn't Empire Strikes Back it. It's not one that's cut above the rest. I enjoy all 3. And like you talk about, the ending is perfect in Toy Story. I honestly, there was the fire part where I thought they were going to die, and I was like, oh my God, they're going to do it. They're just going to kill them all, and that's just going to be... And I was still, like, on board. I was like, okay, this is what it takes. I guess I'm on. And then, you have Andy hands them off, and it's just closure.
It's a beautiful way to close out that story.
I don't know what they're going to do, but like you said, they're batting 1,000 right now, so... I'll take it. I'm sure it'll be good. I'll be there.
It's probably going to be good. I can't believe they put that scene in the movie in the first place. The garbage incinerator scene, because there's literally the two parts of that scene besides like when they get in there in the first place is there's a part where they're all trying to like find a way out and escape, and then there's a second part where they all accept their death
and just like hold
hands. Yeah. And it's fucking horrifying.
That movie came out when I was in boot camp, and like basically the entire time I was in boot camp, every day I woke up and be like, man, still haven't seen Toy Story 3 yet. I did eventually, though. Do we have anything else? I mean, there's new Solo trailer, but we haven't. It's not out yet.
Yeah,
by the time
it'll be out by the time we publish, but it's not out right now. The only other thing is I have one more Soulstone conjecture, which
we've posited what two or three
so far, but the newest one that I've seen is so as we've highlighted already in the promotional material for Infinity War so far, the Soul Stone always has Tony Stark involved. Mm-hmm. And, it could just be because you need to put Tony Stark in there because he's your fucking main guy. Or the theory in this one is that Jarvis, which is his artificial intelligence butler and personal assistant, is somehow either generated or originally powered by the Soul Stone in the first place. One, he's the right color scheme because he's always portrayed in kind of like a ambery yellow color. And two, in the Avengers: Age of Ultron, the second Avengers movie, he fights the artificial intelligence developed from the Mind Stone and seemingly wins, I guess, or at least holds him at bay, which could be just because Tony Stark is a good programmer, but could also be because he's also generated from the power of the Infinity Stones.
See, but Paul Bettany is
Jarvis
now is like the Vision.
And he is Vision.
I don't know.
That's two Soul Stones related. Basically,
it'd be
the
too
same
much.
character.
I think it would be too much.
I mean, it could be a reason that he survives.
Yeah.
After if the Soul Stone's removed, it could be one of the reasons that Jarvis.
I guess that's the point. How would he be able to fight? What was it? The Soul Stone? No. Which one is he? Which one is Ultron born out of? Mind Stone.
Mind Stone.
So it could. I mean, you're right. Like, how else would he survive the Mind Stone attack if not for the fact he'd be powered by another, Infinity Stone? Yeah, unless Tony Stark is that smart.
Right.
That's interesting.
Tony Stark is smart.
So anyway, and obviously that would also, because it's Tony Stark's AI butler, it would be a direct connection to Tony Stark, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, very soon.
Very soon.
It's a good transition.
Relatively. So this week we're going to go through the Marvel movies so far. Again, there have been 18 of them, which is incredible when I went back and looked at it. They're broken up into phases. Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, which the end of Phase 3 is going to be Infinity War, I believe.
No?
Avengers
4 will be the end of Phase 3.
Oh, really?
Oh, the second one.
Okay.
Phase 4 starts with Spider-Man Prom.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Well, we're currently in Phase 3, and the culmination of what we've been up to so far will be Infinity War, so close enough. So this week we're going to break down Phase 1 for you and explain to you what exactly... Well, I guess we should probably talk about what Infinity War is and why we're talking about it in the first place.
Yeah, okay, so Infinity War is really a culmination of everything we've seen so far, which is why I think most Marvel fans are so incredibly excited to see it. It's going to include a lot of different characters, a lot of references, things we've been building towards over the last 10 years, even going back all the way to Iron Man 1. And I think the Russo brothers have shown they're pretty good at this. They kind of did this in Civil War when they brought back William Hurt or Thunderbolt Ross. If you enjoyed that kind of stuff and seeing it all tie together, Infinity War is going to be really exciting. On top of that, besides the characters and references, central driving point in Avengers Infinity War is the collection of the Infinity Stones, which have been introduced all the way back to Captain America: First Avenger. There are 6, right?
Yep.
There's Joseph, you have the list, so you probably should just read it.
That's perfectly fine. There are 6 Infinity Stones: the Power Stone, the Space Stone, the Soul Stone, the Reality Stone, the Time Stone, and the Mind Stone.
And basically, they all have certain powers. They're introduced in different movies, and we're going to talk about what movies they get introduced. They all kind of do different things, but
They can all shoot lasers.
The gist of it is if Thanos is this alien guy who's trying to get all six on this glove-looking thing, and then he can kind of destroy anyone or anything. He'll be
control space and time.
Godlike power.
Right, and the goal is that all of the heroes that we've been introduced to up to this point, all of the Avengers and all of their companions are going to try and stop him from obtaining that and destroying the world.
They've been the MacGuffins in a bunch of movies.
They are actually MacGuffins. You use that word a lot, but these are
in this case,
very much MacGuffins,
and they all have their own kind of thing. But we'll go through them all.
We will.
Yep. So
we're going to talk about Phase 1, which is Iron Man 1.
Yep. So there's a little historical context up to this point. So superhero movies really took off in the early 2000s. Superhero movies have been around for a while, but I feel like Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and what was that, 2001?
2001.
I think was the first like really big, hey, look, we're superhero movies, we're comic book movies, and we're not ashamed about being comic books.
Still holds up. I enjoy that movie.
It does hold up.
Not Green Goblin.
And you might be wondering, because if you're a smart cookie out there,
not his costume.
Spider-Man is a Marvel character, so why isn't he part of the Marvel universe? Well, that's kind of one of the big things is in the 90s, Marvel was going through a real bad time. And so just to stay afloat, they ended up selling a lot of their film rights to their most popular characters, including Spider-Man and the X-Men, which I would very much argue are their biggest characters.
That's how we also got like a Blade movie, a Ghost Rider movie, right. Fantastic Four.
And so when in 2008 or the mid 2000s, Marvel was gearing up to start their own cinematic universe. I say that they kind of coined the term cinematic universe, but when they decided to start their own movies, they didn't have their big characters. They didn't have. I would argue that the biggest one they had that's on this list is Hulk. I would argue that they probably expected that one to be at least before the pre-screening, to be the big one. So they end up trying to build a superhero team kind of equivalent to the Justice League called the Avengers, but again, without Spider-Man or Wolverine or any of the X-Men.
Yeah, they took a bunch of B characters and made them household names.
And they made them absolute household names.
The funny thing is, the characters they were left with were like Avenger staples, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, but they weren't the characters that people were in love with at that time. And a lot of that I think goes back to the animated series of the 90s, like the Spider-Man animated series, X-Men animated series. For those of us who were kids during that period, we grew up with those shows. We liked those characters. So when they started, when Marvel started tanking, those were what was popular at the moment. And that's what the film studios wanted. From what I understand, a lot of people considered it suicide for Marvel to start their own production company. Of course, now a ton of people are very jealous.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't expecting, like, Captain America's hard. That's a hard thing to translate. They got it right pretty much, but, man at a time and all that, and how you introduce him, and they've done Hulk, and that failed once before.
Yeah.
The Ang Lee before.
So prior to this, there was also, an Ang Lee Hulk that was produced by Universal, I think.
With Eric Bana.
With Eric Bana, which I stand by is not a bad movie.
But it wasn't great.
But,
it's trash.
We'll come back to it.
Worse than Transformers.
But they take their own swing at it. So the first one that they introduced into the beginnings of the Marvel Universe that we didn't know was the Marvel Universe at the time is 2008's Iron Man. Christian, you want to give us a bit of a synopsis?
Yep. Iron Man, directed by Jon Favreau, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow, and Don Cheadle.
No.
Yeah.
Not Don Cheadle.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, that's right. That's right, Don Cheadle came in the second.
Yeah.
Dude, I honestly forget that Terrence Howard even had that role.
Yep,
He's so forgettable.
He's very forgettable.
He's so mad he didn't stay on his War Machine right now.
Fuck him, he's an asshole.
He wanted like $20 million or something to come back to the second one, but
there probably would have been a War Machine movie if Terrence Howard would have stayed on.
Nah,
I don't
know.
He was
Hustle and Flow with famous back then.
He was riding off Hustle and Flow. Now he has a TV show.
He's Powers.
Empire.
That's what it is.
So Iron Man 1, about the story of Tony Stark, who is attacked in Afghanistan and put in a cave, and very kind of the classic Iron Man story, but with the War on Terror twist, where he realizes that his weapons are being used by both the quote-unquote heroes and villains in his interpretation of society, and he decides he needs to take matters in his own hands. So he builds the Iron Man suit and becomes a vigilante and has to go against his former advisor in Obadiah Stane,
I think.
Who also creates a suit, Ironmonger. I like this movie a lot. apparently haven't seen it in a long time because I forgot that Don Cheadle
was not in it.
Was not War Machine, but
I mean, what I would say about this movie is I don't love this movie. The script was written with Robert Downey Jr. in mind.
Right. Tony
Stark is written as Robert Downey Jr. You know what I mean? Because he is, and that's the thing to note. Like it's, he's a playboy, sarcastic. I'm the smartest guy in the room, asshole. I mean, that's his shtick, and they wrote Iron Man to that, and it just, hit a bullseye. You know what I mean?
They sure did.
They just they caught. You never know if it's going to catch fire, and it was just did really well, and people seem to love it.
And despite the fact that you seem to have soured on it, most people have not. It was very, very well received.
I'll say on the front of this is that I'm not a fan of Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2. I don't like him as the center character. I just think he's too much. His character can be too much. I like him in the Avengers as a supporting role, but when he's out center, like
I don't know. I feel like he's still kind of the lead of the Avengers movies too.
Yeah, but it's still balanced a little bit more. You know what I mean?
It gets more balanced over time.
Yeah, like it's a lot. Like Iron Man 3 with him in that little. We're skipping around, but Iron Man is he's just a little bit much as the main role for me.
I wouldn't backtrack a little bit outside of Iron Man itself and just Phase 1 in general. Of the 3 phases we've had of movies so far, to me, Phase 1 probably has the most misses.
Yeah, it's the worst phase.
Marvel was still trying to figure it out, and it's understandable. You're not going to come out getting it all right, but Iron Man 1 to me is a cut above all the rest, besides probably Avengers. It's my favorite Phase 1 movie. I really, really enjoy it. It's definitely my favorite of the 3 Iron Man movies.
I would very much argue that if Iron Man didn't exist and didn't hit the way that it did, that the rest of this wouldn't exist. Because even though Hulk came out a few months later, it didn't
6 weeks.
Yeah, it didn't receive nearly the same reaction or excitement that the first Iron Man
still
movie.
The lowest grossing, right?
I'm not sure.
I believe so. I think it's still the lowest grossing Marvel movie.
But it was a pretty big.
Lightning in a bottle,
It was, and I think
Gwyneth Paltrow was great.
Oh yeah, I forgot Gwyneth Paltrow's in it too.
Pepper Potts, that's that's his secretary, best friend, confidant, love interest. She's great. Who else is? John Favreau plays his Happy Hogan.
Yeah, that's right.
His confidant.
Yep.
The dude is the villain.
Yep. Jeff Bridges.
Starting
a long time.
He's forgettable.
Starting a long time Marvel tradition of a superhero fighting
their power against themselves.
Their
evil selves.
Evil version of themselves.
Even all the way up until Black Panther.
Yeah, still going on.
But yeah, no, this was.
I would say my favorite we're going to talk about is I don't think this. This is probably the best, most well done. I like Captain America: First Avenger a little more.
As in the Phase 1?
Yeah, we're taking Avengers out of it, because Avengers is clearly the best movie in Phase 1. If we're talking just origin stories and Iron Man 2, I would say First Avenger. I'd watch that again.
Do we want to talk about the after credit scenes with each film, or do we want to talk about them as their own?
No, we'll talk about it with each film. I just want to say on this film specifically, I don't know. I'd have to go back and check, but I feel like Marvel probably wanted Hulk to come out first, but then after they saw it, probably pushed Iron Man up front. Because it was a bit of a swing for them, because they had John Favreau, who had acted before, but I think, as we've discussed, his only directorial credit before that was Swingers. And then Robert Downey Jr. was coming off a low point in his career. He had just made one big movie, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which was very well critically received, but prior to that had been kind of untouchable in Hollywood.
Did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang come out before Iron Man 1?
That's the reason he was cast in it.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
And so it was a bit of a gamble on kind of an unknown director and kind of an unknown reception to a guy who had not previously had a lot of good public will out there.
It didn't handle the Starlight well.
No, it didn't handle the Starlight well. And then, like Ian said, lightning in a bottle.
And they were the ones who introduced, what we're talking about now is what's called an after credit scene, a stinger, and they put a little thing, and that's how they built this universe, is they started interlinking their movies, which is just fucking genius.
Well,
and I don't understand how more people didn't think about that, The
only movie I had seen beforehand that had done it was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. The after credit scene.
Yeah, to a next movie. And
to the chagrin of theater workers everywhere.
Yeah.
Because nobody ever gets out of the theater anymore.
You just have to stand there and wait.
Correct.
But they had Nick Fury, played by Samuel Jackson, who in the comics is like head of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's an organization that loosely overlooks superheroes. And saying that, hey, you're part of a bigger world. And it left people with something to remember to come back to. And I think that's the TV hook, the cliffhanger, you know what I mean? And they took a little bit of TV and they put it in feature films, and they've done a really, really good job that a lot of people have tried to copy.
I think of all the after credit scenes, this is the best one.
It's the best one partially because
you're part of a larger world. I hope
you didn't know anything. Like it was so unexpected. It was so new that I think it just really worked.
I really hope you just scroll so that it makes that scene so much better in Captain Marvel.
You didn't know that was even a possibility, really, at that time.
Yeah, and I mean, Sam Jackson is a huge actor, and he comes in for 2 minutes. You're like, holy crap, you know what I mean? That's cool.
That is cool. So the things that are important to take away from the first Iron Man going forward into Infinity War is, one, Tony Stark as a whole. Tony Stark, Iron Man, his character, his love interest, Pepper Potts, is still important. Nick Fury is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is...
He's not credited at all in Infinity War. I just want to point that out there. Samuel L. Jackson... There's a rumor he won't be in it.
Well, he's been in almost every one up to that point.
Correct, he has.
He's not going to be in Infinity War now.
Interesting.
That's the one he's not going to. Yeah, he's not going to be.
We'll see.
His next appearance is Captain Marvel.
I mean, he's uncredited. That doesn't mean
because he wasn't in Civil War. He's been out for a bit now.
I guess you're right. I guess
he's not in Civil War. His last one was Ultron.
Age of Ultron, and he's barely in it.
Yeah.
And then I think the only other important thing to take away from this movie is Tony Stark's AI butler, which we already talked about, Jarvis.
Played by
Paul Bettany, who ends up showing up later.
Paul Bettany's been in a lot of stuff.
He has been in a lot of stuff.
Not a lot of good stuff.
Hey, he's in Knight's Tale.
That's a good Heath Ledger
Jeffrey
movie.
Chaucer.
Nothing else that's good, though. He's in that Tom Hanks movie, Da Vinci Code. I kind of like Da Vinci.
Oh, no, he's the albino monk in that one.
He's in A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah. I've never seen A Beautiful Mind.
I know. You don't like Russell Crowe.
I don't love Russell Crowe.
What?
Yeah. Russell Crowe's personal politics influence how Joseph views
That's not at all what it is. I just don't think I just don't think he's the greatest actor in the world. That's all it is.
You're crazy.
He's pretty awesome. But let's move on. Iron Man 1, better or worse than Transformers?
Better than Transformers.
Better.
By far.
Worse than Transformers.
You think it's worse than Transformers? You would rather watch Transformers than Iron Man 1.
I'm glad for once we didn't all agree on something.
Worse than Transformers.
Whatever.
That movie's overrated, guys.
I mean, it's fine. You're just wrong.
Overrated.
Okay, I just want to pause for a second. You say it's overrated. I think looking back, it feels tropey, but it invented the tropes.
Right.
Yeah, true.
It invented the Marvel formula.
It doesn't hold up as well, I don't think.
Okay.
Whatever. We don't have time. So, what did you say? 6 weeks later?
Yep.
Is the Incredible Hulk, which again was the second Hulk movie that we've had in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But instead of Eric Bana, it stars Edward Norton.
Liv Tyler as
Betty Brant.
And then
William Hurt
is Thunderbolt Ross, General Thunderbolt Ross.
What an awesome call sign, Thunderbolt.
I know,
Tim
right?
Roth as the Abomination.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Continuing the evil Hulk.
And that.
Oh yeah. So what is a basic synopsis of this movie?
Directed by Louis Leterrier, I think. Louis Leterrier.
Oh, that's a good call. I have no idea.
I'm like 99% positive.
I remember he's like hiding out in Brazil in the beginning.
It's very influenced by the 70s TV show. It's Bruce Banner on the run. The movie starts off, he's hiding out in Brazil. He's trying to figure out a way to basically maintain his powers. He does not want to transform into the Hulk. General Ross is obsessed with catching him because he believes him to be the secret to reinventing the super soldier serum, this is a movie we actually get the first real references to Captain America. During the process, one of the soldiers who's obsessed with who works for Ross, General Ross.
And he's like a mercenary killer kind of
like
guy.
A merc.
And it's Tim Roth from Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
And lie to me.
That's way more recent. Basically volunteers to be the new Hulk, and it ends up being Abomination, and leads to a big final battle.
And he's like an uglier Hulk, if you can
Harlem.
imagine that. Abomination.
Yeah, also like smarter.
Yeah.
But I enjoy this movie. I know there's probably some disagreement here. I think this one is very underrated. It's the lowest grossing Marvel movie. I think it only did like $208 million. And from what it seems like has made them very nervous about making another one. Mm-hmm. I do think that Edward Norton is a good Bruce Banner. I don't think he's the best Bruce Banner. We'll get to that when we probably get to Avengers.
Probably.
I think he does fine in the role. The special effects aren't great. This one seems like a pretty low budget to me, but
yeah, the Hulk specific effects have gotten so much better over time.
Yeah, it's forgettable. It's something I've watched once. I don't think I've even seen it a second time, and I don't enjoy it too much. Mm-hmm. But it's not as bad as the Ang Lee one.
I
agree with that.
I actually prefer the Ang Lee one, but I'm not actually sure it's a better movie. I just enjoy watching it more.
It's more artsy for
You
you.
like the
'Cause you like the guy who
Hulk
did Brokeback Mountain.
I do. there are a couple of really bad like scene transitions in that movie. It's I don't know.
You like that every time he gets angrier, he gets bigger?
What?
That's in that one.
Oh yeah, that is that one. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't know. I like
He ends up being like 25 feet tall.
I like the breakout from the. It doesn't matter. I don't want to get into it, but I like that one a little bit better. It's funny because I have like better notes for everything, but one of my notes for the Hulk is not good.
Very simple.
Well, I remember in the end, just like a CGI smash fest of just like two guys in a city, and
Yeah,
I remember you're right, like you said,
Yeah.
it didn't look good.
It's fine. It also has Ty Burrell in it as Betty. What's her face?
Oh yeah.
Other
that's
thing
right.
who rats out Ed Norton to Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, and then the guy from A Brother Where Art Thou,
Yeah.
who they set up. To
Oh yeah,
be,
Ty Burrell from Modern Family. If you're not familiar. He's the dad.
Yeah, he's funny in that show. I can't remember the other guy's name, but they set him up to be the leader, even though again, never ever addressed.
And then I didn't know this movie was also written by Zach Penn, which
Yes.
is he did Ready Player One as well.
Yeah, he also wrote the Avengers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know.
Until Joss Whedon came along,
Right.
probably. I like this movie. I'm going to say it's better than Transformers. As for things to really carry on from it, there's not. Besides, Ross pops back up in Civil War.
Yeah, William Hurt's Thunderbolt Ross reappears, and then the Hulk reappears. But
Yeah, and the Hulk's so different.
yep,
Like the portrayal of Bruce Banner and the Hulk are so different in Avengers.
and the actor.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's probably where it came from. I don't know. The only thing I would say is you probably will. Obviously, you'll see Bruce Banner and the Hulk in Infinity War. I think there's a chance that you'll see Ross again in one of the two Avengers movies, but that's it. There's no Infinity Stones. I would love to see Liv Tyler come back. I think that would be an interesting thing, but they've kind of set Bruce Banner up with Black Widow. So
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
weird.
going to say it's worse than Transformers, just because I'd rather watch Transformers than this movie.
yeah, if you view it more rewatchable, I guess that's the whole scale.
Yeah,
right?
it's worse than Transformers.
Also, we forgot the after credit scene in this movie is Tony Stark confronting General Ross
In a bar.
in a bar.
You wear so many suits. They're the nicest suits. Or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
What did he say to
He
Ross?
says
in the-
we're putting a team together.
Right. It's furthering this whole
Avengers.
Avengers initiative thing. And that they really put them together for the first two in 2008, and then there was a 2-year gap, and then Iron Man 2.
It's hard to believe, man. Like, I don't remember it being that way, but I mean, obviously it is. But
Yeah, we're spoiled to get three Marvel movies a year.
Now we're used to getting like a movie in a franchise every 6 months or a year.
do you think that would have been the plan initially? But Iron Man just did so well that they didn't really know what they were going to do after Incredible Hulk, and they were just like, oh well, I guess we just.
I don't
think
know.
they had the first phase planned out. After that, I think they saw it.
I think
they
it would,
built out of
I think it
that.
would have been crazy to even have that planned out.
Yeah.
Because like, what are the odds that that's going to work?
Iron Man 2 does not feel planned to me.
I would say that's a very good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Well, would you give us a brief synopsis of how Iron Man 2 goes?
Well, let's see
if you can remember
Let's see if I can remember it.
Because I don't.
I think I remember it worse than I remember the first one, and I don't remember the first one all that great. Iron Man 2, who is even the villain? Oh,
Mickey
my
Rourke.
gosh, Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke
Yeah,
as Whiplash.
Yeah.
It starts off with a really cool scene.
Yeah.
And Don Cheadle comes in.
So Tony Stark is being poisoned by the thing in his chest, the arc reactor.
Oh yeah, we skipped that in the first one, but part of the important part of his story up until this point is when he gets captured, he gets hit by some shrapnel that he has a magnetic contraption that's constantly keeping the metal from going into his heart and killing him.
But it's also powering his.
Well, yeah, he used
his
it
suit.
to power his suit. Carry on.
So you find out in the second one that it is poisoning him. I guess whatever fake material is used to power an arc reactor. And it deals a lot with his relationship with his dad. Howard Stark plays a big role in that film. I guess he worked with some Russian dude and pushed him out like, Wozniak and Jobs. Mm-hmm. And his son wants revenge, and that happens to be Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
And instead of wearing a suit, he comes naked with giant electric whips.
I love Mickey Rourke, too.
It is an odd choice. Also, Sam Rockwell stars as Justin Hammer. They team up together, basically, and kind of do almost like an interference. Like, they want to put out the same things, and they attract... They create the War Machine armor, for Rhodey, and it kind of just pushes Tony Stark away from everybody.
Right.
Yep.
I think he gets kicked out of the company, and Pepper takes over, and he isolates himself, and all leading. He's trying to put on a world fair, a Stark fair, because his dad did it, and I mean it's fine.
Yeah,
It's not
I'll tell you
great.
what, I love that the scene with Whiplash gets introduced where he's racing the car.
That's a really cool
Yeah,
scene.
that scene's cool. Like
the suitcase armor.
The suitcase armor.
Yeah, like that's a really, really cool scene. And that's probably one of the best action scenes in any of these Phase 1 movies.
Yeah.
It's a heck of an opener. It may be one of the best opening scenes in all of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, and then it
just
goes,
comes in a really
it
crappy
goes
movie.
downhill after
Yeah.
that.
The end fight scene is Iron Man and War Machine fighting a bunch of drones.
Yeah, it's not great.
Which
all,
is-
all modeled after a branch of the military.
Right.
They kind of, I don't know if you guys heard this, but they like retcon that when the little kid in the Iron Man mask shows up and tries to stop one of the robots. It's supposed to be Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. He's wearing like a Stark.
They've made that official canon now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's not really a whole. This is not. It was not. I made a fuck ton of money.
Made a bunch of money.
But it wasn't well received and it's not well remembered. Fun fact about Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer, which is kind of Tony Stark's. He's like a rival company, but not as good. Besides Robert Downey Jr., Sam Rockwell was the next in line to play Iron Man.
Yeah.
when they
Which
first
makes
cast
sense.
it.
He's Robert Downey Jr. light.
He is, and
He's died
Without the jail and cocaine.
I think
Yeah.
I think he would have done a good job, but I mean, there literally is no one else who could have done the exact same thing.
It kind of makes me sad that I get why they cast him as Justin Hammer. Like you said, they wanted that role to be Tony Stark light, and obviously Sam Rockwell can pull it off so well. But if we were to go about the Marvel future and actors want to start playing the characters, but you didn't want to feel like you didn't have to write it off, he would be my pick for Iron Man. Like Sam Rockwell probably would be about the age Robert Downey Jr. was when he took over the Iron Man role, and you could just pull one out, put one in. But now maybe we still could. It's it's all bullshit and anyway. So, but I feel like making him Justin Hammer was a waste of Sam Rockwell's talents.
I completely agree.
Yeah, it's a waste. Mickey Rourke's wasted as Whiplash. I mean, Ricky Rourke is.
I don't think he's a waste. I think he had one good movie, and people are going back and saying, "Oh, he's a good actor."
What's his one good movie?
The Wrestler.
Yeah, The Wrestler's great. What do you mean? Sin City's amazing.
Sin City's a pretty good movie, but it's not pretty good just because of Mickey Rourke.
Yeah,
He's a big
it's
part of
not
it.
because
He's a
of
big
his
part of it.
acting, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like it's more you're into the style of that
Yeah.
movie. It doesn't matter. Also, fun fact about Iron Man 2. Did you know it's written by famous Jennifer Aniston thing, Justin Theroux?
I did know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I knew it was written by Justin
I knew
Theroux.
it too.
I didn't know Justin Theroux did anything.
Yeah, he writes.
I mean, he was a screenwriter before he was an actor.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a screenwriter.
The other thing that Iron
And
Man...
him and Jennifer Aniston broke up. They're getting a divorce.
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares?
I mean, hey, this is a pop culture podcast.
I suppose it is. Yes.
That's true.
I'm saying
Again,
it.
a
I'm
divorce.
saying it with confidence. This movie also addresses a part of
Racism. No, I was being sarcastic. But
a part of Iron Man's personality struggles in the comics and his alcoholism a little bit.
Yeah.
That they don't really explicitly get into as much in the movies. And then things that we need to take away from this mostly is there's a bit more Nick Fury. You kind of again get more of that larger universe, and I think they introduced ScarJo in this one.
yes, Black
Black
Widow.
Widow.
is
Though I don't know.
Clark Gregg's in it
Is Clark Gregg in it?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
he's introduced in Iron Man 1.
Yeah, he's introduced in Iron Man 1.
as an agent of works for Nick Fury.
Do we explicitly say that ScarJo is?
Yeah, no, she's
Yeah,
definitely
she's
introduced in Iron Man 2.
definitely.
No. I mean, do we call her Black Widow in that, or is she?
Probably.
She's just an
I
agent
think
of
she's
S.H.I.E.L.D..
Natalia Romanoff.
Yeah,
Natasha
Agent Romanoff or
Natasha
whatever.
Romanoff.
Yeah.
There's the one scene where she goes with Happy. And they break into the place, and she,
Black Widow
destroys it. Yeah, Black Widows and stuff. But she's never called that.
right.
The only thing that I think is kind of pertinent in this movie is no longer pertinent, but was at the time, was Nick Fury being like, "We decided you're not qualified
Right.
for the Avengers," which again goes away in about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
in the
they
Avengers movie.
they do that a lot. We'll get to it in Phase 2, but there's like a whole thing in Phase 2 where everyone's like hanging up their gear and not doing it, and then they just like show up again in the next Avengers. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Yeah, you're right. That does happen a lot.
Retcon.
Redcon,
After credits was leading into the next Marvel movie,
which was Thor.
which is Thor. All it was Agent Coulson driving through the desert and coming on a big hole in the ground, and Mjolnir was
the hammer of Thor, Mjolnir.
I think this movie suffers because it's definitely trying to set up like the universe.
Wakanda is even in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do mention it.
Yep.
I wouldn't argue that that's the. I just think this movie doesn't have like
They're trying to bring in Black Widow. You know, they're bringing in Nick Fury a lot. You know,
When we talked about Fantastic Beasts and you talked about it just being a soulless cash grab.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is a cash grab, but it's like a soulless setup.
I would just argue it's very aimless. I don't think it has a lot of purpose.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of development of Tony Stark as the character in it, and so I think there's just like it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. He has almost no progression in that movie.
In almost any of the movies, but yeah.
I guess that's true. Iron Man 3, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. No, because he builds up whatever. I think that's going to...
Like you said, actually, they just go back on everything.
Now that we're going back through them, that's going to irritate me as we keep going. But yeah, so the post-credit scene of Iron Man 2 leads us directly into Thor, which
Iron Man 2 worse than Transformers.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Iron Man 2, definitely worse than Transformers. Arguably the worst Marvel movie so far.
Nope, we haven't gotten to Thor: The Dark World.
Well, they're close, but that's fair. It's a good argument. So that leads us into Thor, which came out in 2011. You want to give us a synopsis of Thor?
This movie is very simple. It's Thor, son of Odin.
Like that Thor.
Like
Norse
the
mythology
Norse
Thor.
god Thor. Is arrogant. He's a douchebag, basically. Loses his godlike powers. And until he's deemed worthy again, will just be immortal living on Midgard, which is their word for Earth. Comes down, he meets Natalie Portman and Stellan Skarsgård and Kat Dennings, who is still the bane of the Marvel universe. But
who else? So Odin's played Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
That's Thor's dad, who's great. Chris Hemsworth.
Yep, Tom Hiddleston is Loki.
Yep, and then...
Basically, the movie is an hour and a half of Loki and Thor having brotherly talks.
Yeah,
hamming it up.
I would argue the first half is Thor learning humility, and then the second half is...
My problem is it takes him 3 days to learn.
Right. Well,
It's such an accelerated timeline. That's my problem with this whole movie is none of it feels serious for him because it's resolved so quickly.
Very quickly.
This is actually one of the movies I like. Oh, and introduces Hawkeye.
It does. Teases Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I don't know if do you actually see Hawkeye in it?
You see him in the crow's nest thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is Jeremy Renner. Also teased the Infinity Gauntlet. Loki's
It does. So yeah, the initial part of this movie takes place on Asgard, which is where the Norse gods are. It's a different realm, different planet. It's kind of unclear.
Yeah.
Ruled by Odin, which is played by Anthony Hopkins the Great. Sir Anthony Hopkins. You get a tease of the Infinity Gauntlet, which is we find out later it's not the real thing, but it's a tease for...
retcon.
A retcon, but it's a tease of what's to come later. And so the movie stars Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Chris Hemsworth, famous of almost nothing before this. He was
in an Australian soap opera.
He was on an Australian soap opera, and he was
Red
Captain...
Dawn.
That was after.
Really?
Yeah. And then he was Captain Kirk's dad in the first Star Trek.
That's right, yeah.
And then he bulked up like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he's
for this
not
movie.
jacked in that movie.
He got so big for this movie that they told him he had to slim down to fit into the costume.
Yeah.
And he's still fucking enormous.
He's huge.
He's so big. And he has maintained that, which good on him, man.
Yeah, he's jacked.
That's so
for
impressive.
8 years, man, to be that large.
Well, then he lost all the weight for that Moby Dick movie.
Yeah, no one saw that. So
Nobody saw it, and then he gained...
counts.
It doesn't even matter. And then I would say Natalie Portman starts the trend of people who regretted signing on to Marvel movies. We might have already hit that with Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke, yeah, maybe number one.
But Natalie Portman as the love interest, who I don't remember her name, and it doesn't really matter. Jane Foster.
Foster
Matters in the comics, doesn't matter in the movies. Let's see. What are the other important takeaways from this movie?
Loki's the best. Now is the best villain in any of the 18 Marvel movies.
Yep.
More or less.
Loki is Thor's brother.
I would say Loki is better in Avengers than he is in Thor 1.
I would also agree with that.
Yeah.
He's a trickster god, and he's pretty much
God of mischief.
He's a god of mischief, and he's constantly just trying to get over on people. That's kind of his thing.
Yeah, the whole driving force of his thing is he's just jealous of Thor.
Right.
He wants to be king, and it's kind of like, Scar and Mufasa.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. One of the things I like about this movie is it's got one of my favorite hand waving of incorporating magic into the Marvel universe, where it's got a moment where Thor is talking to Jane Foster and says, where I come from, what you call science or what you call magic and science are the same thing. And that's like it. That's all you get. And I'm just like, that's good enough. I like it.
You buy it.
Yeah, I'm totally in for it. I thought that was a really clever way to, because I always thought that having like a Norse god involved in, in these other, I mean, they're more grounded comparatively, superheroes was weird. But you just, that's all you do. You say, oh, we're just, it's the what's the fucking Arthur C. Clarke, the science so advanced it's indistinguishable from magic quote, thing. So, I mean, I like it. It's great.
I'm not big on this movie. I don't super enjoy it.
Yeah.
But there are some important parts, and it does a good job of what you're talking about, Joseph, is you buy Thor. Like, you can get on board with it. I think the movie, directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Famous Shakespearean actor, Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, decided he was going to make a Marvel movie about a Norse god. It's a character that shouldn't work.
Agreed.
And while the movie, and not just this one, at least the second one as well, aren't great, and they aren't very good either, but they probably work better than they should, and they definitely work better than they would if Fox or Sony were the ones who made them.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think the costumes have gotten better. You know what I mean? The CGI has gotten better from the first Thor.
I still like the look of Asgard. I thought that was a good touch.
The kind of like gold organ.
And I'll tell you,
thing.
I mean, we've hit the point where we see an outrageous number of superhero movies that it like doesn't even register. But I would argue that by 2011, the public as a whole was hitting fatigue on origin stories because they're all kind of the same. It's a normal guy, some freak accident happens, they learn their powers, that blah blah blah. This one comes from a very different perspective.
Yeah.
He's a god. He's a god from another realm, and like you said, it's a family royal drama, like Lion King or Hamlet or something, and he's banished and learns humility and whatever. And it's even though I don't think it's the best story, it's told the best way it could be. It's just interesting because it's different from all the other ones.
No, that's a good point. I'm going to say for me, it's worse than Transformers. I actually think it's probably a better quality movie. It's just not as rewatchable. I haven't wanted to rewatch Thor probably ever, and I have seen it a few times, but.
Yeah, I'm not crazy for the Thor movies. I would say, other than Thor Ragnarok, which I love, but that's a completely different tone. But the first two, worse than Transformers. Definitely this one.
This one's actually a tough one for me because I agree that like I think the Transformers movie, like just Transformers, is probably more exciting to watch. Just because I like the characters so much, I might go back rather go rewatch Thor. So I'm going to go better than Transformers.
We've had more disagreements in these four movies than we've had in the entirety of this podcast.
That's well, yeah, it's because we've mostly been seeing good movies. But so the things we need to take away from this, Asgard.
What's the stinger of this one?
What is the singer in this one? Oh no, it's the Stellan Skarsgård.
Correct. Sets up Avengers.
Stellan
Skarsgård goes to look at the Tesseract, and then
so yeah, this movie actually introduces we've gone through several now without one, but this introduces the first Infinity Stone that we've come up across.
Yeah, you don't remember it that way because the Tesseract is such an important part of First Avenger, but it is the first time we see it.
Right.
He's being influenced by Loki. We see and. The Tesseract, though, is something to remember. I mean, kind of leads us into First Avenger as well. But Asgard, Asgardians,
right.
Thor, Loki.
Important Asgardian we have skipped so far is Heimdall, played by Idris Elba, who is like an all-seeing gatekeeper of Asgard.
Yeah, we've talked about the possibility. One of the theories we've talked about is that his powers are
the Soul Stone,
come from the Soul Stone.
But most importantly, he's played by Idris Elba, and he's got a giant-ass sword.
Yeah, it's true. He doesn't use it near enough.
He doesn't use it nearly enough.
He does in Thor Ragnarok use it a little bit.
Yeah.
So First Avenger?
I think so. Is there anything else from that movie that's important? I'm always confused about, like, is the Bifrost related to the Tesseract?
I don't think so. I do wonder what powers the Bifrost.
Well, because the Bifrost is how they transfer from,
it's a boom tube.
Right, it's a boom tube. It's how they transfer from one realm to another. It's how Thor gets banished and returns back to Asgard. And it seems like it's, like, I know in the second one it, like, loses power. And they, we're skipping ahead. But Thor brings the Tesseract back to Asgard to, like, and it's, I don't know if is it to repower the Bifrost? Is it related? Because, I mean, it's a space-related thing. And the Tesseract is the Space Stone. I've always just been
I think they both can do it.
I'm confused about that.
I don't know. That's a good point. I never really made this connection.
Somebody who knows more about this, Hurt, if you're listening, email us, please. But yeah, I think that takes us directly into Avengers, which is
First Avenger. Captain America.
Oh, sorry, no, you're right. The first Avenger.
Yeah, can't skip it.
I didn't even write notes on that.
Scrawny little kid from Brooklyn.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Chris Evans.
Captain America: First Avenger. Hit us with a synopsis.
Scrawny little kid from Brooklyn volunteers for the army to fight in World War II, gets experimented on, becomes gigantic and gorgeously handsome Chris Evans. Steve Rogers, by the way, is his name. And then fights his way through Europe to get close to the Red Skull, who is played by Hugo Weaving, who's developed these like doomsday weapons powered by the Tesseract, which was introduced in the end of Thor.
They're like super Nazis.
Yep, just like super Nazis. And that's pretty much it. Loses his best friend Bucky along the way, which plays important later in Phase 2.
Correct.
I don't love this movie as much as some people do. Oh, directed by Joe Johnston, who made GoldenEye. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember who else is in it.
It's a war movie.
Haley Atwell
is Agent Carter.
Yep.
The girl from Game of Thrones is the girl that kisses him. I can't remember her name.
Oh, God. Natalie Dorman.
Good pull.
And then Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones. That's right. Shit.
Oh, what's his face plays Arnim Zola.
Yeah. Toby Jones.
Toby Jones. Lots of famous people in that movie.
Yeah, there are a lot of famous people in it. Yeah, I keep forgetting it. Tommy Lee Jones was in one of these movies.
Who's Tommy Lee Jones?
I'll bet he was. I feel like
he's the colonel who's responsible for the program. The
Super Soldier. Oh, and Stanley Tucci is
Stanley. How can I forget? He's my favorite part.
Stanley fucking Tucci is the defected German scientist that develops the super serum that gives Captain Rogers his powers.
And that scene where they're drinking like the vodka the night before, it's great. Stanley Tucci's awesome.
He is awesome. He's great in everything.
Yeah, it's a war movie. It's Marvel's, World War II.
I think they did a great job with the period in this one. Like it feels like very of the time.
Yeah,
I think the only reason why I have a deterrent against saying that, it does feel that way. But Joe Johnston made a movie called The Rocketeer earlier on in his career, and it's like a sequel, man. I mean,
is it?
It feels the style and everything feels the same, and so to me, it just felt kind of repetitious. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's fine. I like it fine. I like it. It's probably number 2 for me outside of the Avengers and that Phase 1 movie. Mm-hmm. But I don't love it like some people do. I think it moves a little too quickly for me.
Really?
I would like to see a little bit more like development between him and Bucky or him and Carter. And the whole there's like 2 storylines in that. There's the Red Skull Hydra thing and it's moving along, and there's really little interaction until the very end. Right. And I think I would have liked to maybe seen like multiple stages.
Well, that's super fair because there's a big plot point not a big plot point, but I mean you spend several minutes of the movie between when he becomes a super soldier to when he actually gets to go and fight on the front lines with America's finest kind of thing.
The greatest generation.
And he has his little team. What's his team called?
The Howling Commandos.
Yeah, they're cool.
And so, as you said, like instead of spending time on that, we could have spent, it's kind of a short montage of him and the actual Howling Commandos fighting the Nazis. Yeah. You could have spent some more time developing that.
Also, the first, we talk about actors being reused in the Marvel universe or wanting them to. The Asian dude from Howling Commandos is also the principal in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
But that's referenced.
Yeah, he has a picture of him.
Of his grandfather. Yeah. That's really good. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's pretty solid. I like this one. Like you said, you introduced Bucky, who's Captain Rogers' best friend, and I don't feel like they make a big deal out of it.
Not big enough, I don't think.
Well, not even that, and also, so does he get the super serum before? Well, I get just. I mean, we can. But fuck it, it doesn't matter. We can spoil anything we want.
Yeah, it's been out for a decade.
It's been out forever. So Bucky is the Winter Soldier eventually, but I can't remember. Does he get the Super Soldier Serum when he's experimented on, like before he gets rescued, or does that happen after he falls off the thing, gets the metal arm, and all that kind of stuff?
You're talking about Bucky?
Bucky, yeah.
I don't know that whatever Bucky gets is specifically a Super Soldier Serum.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's heightened abilities of some sort,
right?
And he gets is it a vibranium arm?
No, just a metal arm.
Just a metal arm. But I think it's implanted. They kind of give you the belief that it's supposed to happen while he's captured.
Yeah, okay.
At least that's what it started.
Okay.
Obviously, the experimentation finished after they caught him again. But
yeah.
This movie does actually, one thing, again, not skipping too far forward, but I think Winter Soldier does a good job of kind of referencing things in this movie that didn't seem important, like Arnim Zola, for example.
Right.
And what happens to Bucky, like we're talking about before he was captured. Some of that stuff is revealed in that movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it references back to the first Avenger really well. Mm-hmm. which isn't, I don't know if it's a compliment on First Avenger, but it apparently set it up for the future better than you probably realized it the first time watching it.
So things that are important to take away from this movie is, Steve Rogers, super serum. He was the only one that got it. The formula got destroyed after he got it.
By the guy who played Thorin, right? From the Hobbit movies?
Was it? Was it Richard Armitage?
Yeah, Richard Armitage.
Interesting. Bucky, his shield is made out of vibranium, which, as far as he's concerned,
Captain America.
Sorry, yeah, Captain America's shield is made out of vibranium.
It'll be Bucky's real soon.
No, that's fair. which is, as far as we're led to believe in this movie, is the only vibranium, but we find out later is not the case.
Very wrong.
And then I'd say that the most important thing, and the thing that I think makes this one a good lead into Avengers, is at the end of this movie, he crashes a plane and gets frozen in ice for how many years?
Like 40 years.
It's like 50 years, right? It's like 50...
We're saying if it takes place in like 1945-ish.
60 years?
Probably 60 70
65.
years.
And so he...
with the stone, right?
The Tesseract is a big one as well.
Oh, yeah. So, Jim, man, we skipped that in the first place. Yeah, so the big plan of Red Skull for powering his super Nazi army is... He discovers that the Tesseract, he doesn't know exactly what it is, but he knows it's a mystical powered item. He finds it, locates it, and uses it to power the weapons of Hydra, which is the super Nazi organization, which is also important. They come up later. Which also echoes the fact that in World War II, Hitler was super into the occult stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a real thing that probably could have happened. Not the finding the stone, but definitely the looking for it.
You talking about the Tesseract powering the Bifrost. Everything we're led to believe is that in those original movies is that the Tesseract is Asgardian,
right,
in nature,
right.
It's like hidden in the sculpture of the tree or whatever, and Thor knows about it.
Isn't that the name
Idrisil,
of it? Idrisil, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. I just thought of that one.
No, yeah, no, that's super fair. I think it is supposed to be related to Asgard.
I like the shield. I like the old school shield they use. I think Chris Evans is just perfect.
Oh, and that is
Captain America.
That is definitely one of the keys.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else could do that role and not feel like kind of corny or, you know what I mean, or come across as good as he makes it come across.
He's proof that Superman can work. Because it's essentially the same personality traits. It's kind of this strict moral code, and he's very optimistic and believes in humanity, and it very much could come across as cheesy and like roll your eyes kind of cheesy, but because it's delivered with the right amount of earnestness, like you feel like he really believes these things. It just, I don't know, it really works.
I would agree.
So yeah,
I'm gonna say it's better than Transformers.
It's definitely better than Transformers.
So. Leads us all to the culmination of Phase 1.
Avengers,
directed by Joss Whedon.
And this is going to have every character
recap,
we
but
just
I can't
referenced.
keep talking. It's killing my throat.
Yeah, so we're doing Avengers is going to star Iron Man,
Everybody.
Hulk,
Everybody.
Black Widow, all these people referenced. Hawkeye, Captain America, and it's going to have the villain is Loki, the villain from Thor 1.
The idea is Loki comes back with a magic staff that we don't really know where it comes from, and he's enslaving people's minds, and then eventually trying to open up a portal and bring in his army and take over the world.
And this is the first movie that references Thanos, who's going to be the villain in Infinity War.
Yeah, that's the tease in this film is that
sure.
You know that someone's there, that Loki's talking to somebody, but you don't know it's Thanos until the very, very end.
Right.
Which was huge.
Right. And so Nick Fury and Agent Coulson are rounding up.
This movie also introduces Maria Hill,
played by what's-her-face from...
Kobe Smulders, yeah. Robin Scherbatsky.
Correct. And so they bring together all the heroes that we've established at this point. You get Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk.
A recast
Hawkeye,
Hulk.
Yeah, recast Hulk.
Who's now Mark Ruffalo.
And Black Widow. Is that everybody?
Hawkeye?
Yeah, I said Hawkeye.
That's everybody.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And so, yeah, they team up, learn how to be a team, then fracture, then relearn how to be a team, and then fight a giant army of evil aliens. And
the Chitauri.
And triumph in the end.
Yeah.
And the movie's really good.
It's so good.
There's no reason why it should be as good as it is.
It's written well. There's a lot of cool action scenes that still hold up. some of the costumes, like Captain America's costume, is not.
It's not great, but
I didn't notice
the bright blue, bright red,
and the head.
It didn't look great, but the CGI's the Hulk got better. I think the Chitauri, like the big worm, was cool.
You speak of the Hulk, man. This is like the first time the Hulk is good on screen.
Yeah, and Mark Ruffalo, like when they find him, and Black Widow is the one who approaches him,
right?
Which and she's talking to him, and then you find out she was surrounded. Like it was a cool scene. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it starts off with Sam Jackson pretty much recruiting each member individually. Mm-hmm. And then they all meet on a helicarrier,
which is exactly what it sounds like. It's an aircraft carrier,
and
that flies,
and then and they start having their quarrels, and they kind of turn against each other, and then they, which is cool. You see the Hulk rage out, and he gets dropped. He's going against Black Widow, who's running around, and
the Hulk versus Thor fight.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff, and
I love it. I love that scene.
Funny.
Because Thor's just like standing there with like his knee and fist on the ground with his arm out for like 4 seconds. And then all of a sudden Mjolnir comes, and it's awesome. The whole movie is so great.
It's really good. It's definitely the first of its kind. Nobody had attempted to do something of this magnitude, bringing all these characters from different movies together. And again, it should not have worked. It should have been a train wreck, but it was incredible.
Yep.
And truthfully, in my opinion, this is the start of the Marvel universe.
Agreed.
Those first 4 or 5 movies, while they're probably above average what you get in a theater, Avengers was like, hey, we have this figured out. Like this is what we're. This
like
is
if
what
I was
we're
ever
going
to marathon the Marvel movies, I would start
Avengers. Yeah, that seems fair. So this movie was written and directed by Joss Whedon of Firefly and Buffy and Angel. Is that also something that he did?
Yeah,
Justice League.
He also wrote Alien 3. So
I was going for the good things.
And Toy Story 1.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's got some Joss Whedon footprints. I mean, he does the best job with the Hulk and making him a tragic character. He's got a lot of very Whedon-esque lines coming from Hawkeye in this movie. He does not know what to do with Captain America.
Yeah.
He's very sidelined in this movie.
Captain America has lost him. I think he does a little bit better in Age of Ultron with Cap, but I do feel like Captain America is probably the most deficient. I mean, Hawkeye is the most deficient character in this movie, but
yeah. He's really good at Iron Man.
I guess
I like his Iron Man a lot more than Jon Favreau's Iron Man. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know. It's so heavy. They're so similar. Like I don't know. I see a difference.
And I think Bruce Banner is really he's really.
So
I think Bruce Banner and Black Widow are the two that benefit from Joss Whedon the most.
Agreed. Those are. Though I feel like those are his mouthpieces for Joss Whedon dialogue.
Yep.
But so in this movie, the Hulk, Bruce Banner, has been recast as Mark Ruffalo from Ed Norton.
So much better.
A big improvement.
Even so much better than Eric Bana, who never feels like Bruce Banner, even if Joseph wants to tell you he does.
I mean, he doesn't know. He doesn't emote. He's incapable of emoting. It's kind of his thing. It's fine. So important things to take away from this movie. One, first gathering of all the superheroes under Nick Fury.
Very important.
The actual gathering of the Avengers, which is the first word in Avengers Infinity War. It's an important part of it.
And two stones. Like, he's trying to open the portal to bring in Loki. He's trying to open the portal to bring in the army using the Tesseract.
The Tesseract, which is the
Captain
Space
America,
Stone. Correct.
And then
it is the MacGuffin of this movie.
And it's also using the staff.
Which we don't find out till later.
Yeah, we find out later on is the Mind Stone. So
which is now in Vision's head.
Right. Well, he uses it to
it gets complicated, which is garbage.
It does.
He uses it to mind control multiple people in the movie, including Hawkeye.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Hawkeye's a zombie the whole movie. Like
most of it.
Yeah. So,
Jeremy Renner was apparently not happy about that.
Yeah. He was not.
He can get over it. He got like a whole thing in the second one. It's fine.
Too much of a thing, if you ask me.
No, I think that's the best part of the second one. I'm not I don't really care for Age of Ultron much. I like that Hawkeye is a better character in that movie.
Yeah. And then, like we said, the big reveal in this one is the after credits scene after, Loki's been brought to justice and whatever. We cut to a scene in space where it's an underling giving a report on their attack on Earth to what we find out is Thanos, who is the big bad that they've been setting up since this movie for, like another, how many, 13 or 12 movies.
He's really only appeared in one other one. Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's in Guardians.
What other movie is he in besides that?
Hang on.
Oh, he shows up in one of them where he gets the Infinity Gauntlet. Maybe that's Age of Ultron. I don't remember.
No, I thought the end of this one is where he gets I'm going to do it myself.
No.
Oh, that's not that.
No.
So, but this one does set up an important thing that is not a thing that it's an important part of Thanos' motivation that I don't think they're going to address in the movies, because they make a line, and our friend of the show, Hurt, mentioned this to us. There's a line in the first Avengers in that scene where the underling is saying to challenge these guys, to challenge the Avengers, is to court death.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of, and this is where it gets very comic booky, but a big part of Thanos' motivation. He's hitting on death, which is a physical entity in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's like a girl skull and crossbones.
Yeah, she's an actual character in the comic. I don't think it's
if you were going to make Death a character, it'd be Hela from Thor Ragnarok.
But you
she's the goddess of death.
Right.
If you were going to do that, you know what I mean?
Hela.
Yeah, that would be the only way you could make that work. But she kind of died at the
end. I would
end.
be okay with that, too.
But anyway, I thought it was funny that Joss Whedon at least planted that seed, even if they never actually make good on it.
I love Avengers 1. It's way better than Transformers.
It is way better than Transformers. It is infinitely rewatchable. You can watch that movie anytime.
Yeah, it's
I've probably seen it over 100 times. Like that may, people may say that about a lot of movies and it just be hyperbole, but I feel like Avengers 1, I am probably up. Every time it's on TV, I watch it. Yeah. Every time.
Yeah, it's easy to watch. It's just fun.
I feel like you rewatch a lot of movies as
I only have like 20 movies. I only watch those 20. Ghostbusters, Avengers 1. Apparently not Iron Man 1.
Apparently that's fine. But cool. So that brings us to the end of Phase 1, which is the first part of our April Marvel Spectacular.
Yep.
And we're going to do Phase 2, which is Iron Man 3.
It starts off weak but gets better.
Dark World, Thor: The Dark World, then Guardians of the Galaxy?
Correct. And then Winter Soldier, and then Age of Ultron.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like Joseph said, it starts off rough, but it really gets its footing. It
arguably has the best one. We can talk about it next week.
We'll discuss it.
But in the meantime, what have y'all been watching?
I didn't watch anything this week. I watched The Titan on Netflix, which is, we've trashed Sam Worthington on this podcast before, so why I decided to watch a movie where Sam Worthington was the main actor, I don't know. It's horrible.
What's it about?
It's worse than... So, like a plot of a lot of movies is that Earth is dying and we have to go somewhere else. But in this movie, instead of finding another habitable planet or terraforming a planet, we must genetically modify human beings to be able to survive on another planet. So they decide Saturn's moon, Titan, which is, used all the time in science fiction, is the ideal place. And so we need to enhance our genetic code to become habitable on Titan. Basically, it's forced human evolution.
Right.
And he ends up becoming this creature thing. It's got, what's her face from Game of Thrones? Daenerys is like number 2. She like translates.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's in Fast and Furious. Everybody's in Fast and Furious.
Natalie's,
No.
I don't
know her name.
I don't remember her name.
She's in it as well. And yeah, it's not good. It's really bad.
I mean, look, this is your fault. You know Sam Worthington.
I know he's horrible.
He's never done anything good.
No, he doesn't.
It's worse than Transformers.
Yeah, fair enough. I watched the movie Gifted with Chris Evans, handsome Chris Evans, Captain America, which is about a guy who kind of, not by his own choice, gets custody of a young child genius and is trying to get her to live a normal life, and several other people are trying to get her to fulfill her, potential. Exactly. That word is very prominent in that movie. And so it's kind of about both his battle with other people, over custody of her and what she should do, and also his internal battle as to whether he's doing the right thing. And man, it's a fucking tearjerker. It's
I really want to see it.
I would argue that it's not like, I don't even know if it's a great movie. Like I don't think they do anything that's groundbreaking or new or great, but like the performances are so good. Chris Evans is great, the kid is great, Octavia Spencer's great. It's so good.
Octavia Spencer.
So good. I cried so much of that movie. And then I also watched Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Doubling down on the HP.
It's what I do when I'm doing laundry. I had a lot of laundry.
We only got 2 more left, so.
Yeah, so anyway, all of those things are better than Transformers.
Yes.
So.
The only thing I watched Skyfall on Blu-ray, and it was I was looking through my movies last night. We wanted to go to, and it actually kept me up because I wanted to put on something to go to bed. And yeah, Skyfall's fucking great, man.
It's so good.
It's a good one.
There's nothing good, like no bad parts of that movie. I would love.
You're making Joseph think.
I love the
Javier Bardem.
the like the fight in the casino with the Komodo dragons.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's cool when like he has a gun. Like the only like gadget he gets from Q is a gun with a palm print. You know what I mean? The guy can't use it.
I like that movie incorporates a lot of classic Bond things, but in very cool modern twist. But my favorite part of it is like how stylized it is. Like those Hong Kong scenes are gorgeous,
right?
Yep, where they're fighting on the glass and all the the lights going through. But Javier Bardem, man, I don't know. Do I like that his role in that or No Country more? It's
No Country.
He's good in both.
It's no question. It's No Country.
He's really good in Skyfall too. Like it's an underrated role. He's really like when he first shows up and he's talking about his grandmother's island with the rats and the coconuts. Like that's a crazy scene.
Yeah, I like it.
I could nitpick that movie, but I also like it.
Ralph Fiennes comes in and
as M. He's like Bond's like a drunk fucking. He's addicted to pills. He's struggling a little bit, but I thought it was good. Spectre totally undercuts that movie a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But Spectre's okay.
Oh, did we announce that? Did we talk about the fact that Danny Boyle's directing the next Bond?
I don't know if we ever confirmed it. We did talk about it.
Because it is confirmed now.
Yes,
it's official.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about.
So pumped.
Super down. It's Daniel Craig again. But
yeah, probably going to be his last one, I think.
That's probably okay.
Yeah, it's probably time to move on.
I don't know what you do with it now because Spectre kind of like put a bow on the first four. You know what I mean?
So that wasn't what I was going to say. I would say the biggest problem with Skyfall is that it debunks the great theory that 007 and James Bond are all code names, and so like each iteration has been like the next version. Like the last James Bond died, and this guy is just the new James Bond. And they debunk that because they give him like an actual history and the location or whatever. And I feel like especially if you're bringing in a new director but a same actor, and then you're going to switch it after that, it just makes for such a nice transition for like this long-standing franchise that it kind of bothers me that they changed that. But
who is it? Alfred Molina plays his butler guy, right? Who plays?
Well, it's supposed to be Sean Connery.
That's what I was going to say.
They really wanted.
Yeah, they really wanted Sean Connery, which would have been perfect for what you're
Alfred Molina though.
No, it's not. It's some random guy that I'm not familiar with.
That would have been cool. Another tie into it.
I forgot to talk about this. We were talking about box office stuff because I was going to transition from Ready Player One, but you reminded me of as far as people that were slated to be important characters. So bring it way back. I know we're on Skyfall, but think about Ready Player One again. I found out that I guess for a long time when Steven Spielberg was in pre-production trying to make this movie for the role of James Halliday, he really wanted Gene Wilder, who hadn't made a movie in a long time.
He would have been so good.
He would have been so good, and you can tell even by character design and some like
he kind of looks like Willy Wonka.
Yeah, some character. Well, I mean the comparison between James Halliday's challenge and the
definitely some Willy Wonka in that.
Yeah, and I mean there's definitely inspiration there, and so Steven Spielberg wanted to make a very direct connection. But he died, and he refused before he died. But how cool would that have been, though?
It'd have been awesome.
It's just a cool fun fact about the movie, but it would have been even more cool if that had worked out.
I did read they're making a prequel to Willy Wonka about how he made the factory.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't want another one.
They're writing that. Yeah, it's just now being written. It's like far out. But I did hear that somewhere.
It's way better because it's so fantastical and like.
Yeah, I hated the Johnny Depp one. It's so bad. The Johnny Depp one is not good.
It's not good.
Well, it's been fun.
It's been fun. All right, guys. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get it right the fucking first time.
I believe you.
I don't believe myself.
All the faith in the world.
Thanks so much, guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you enjoy this podcast, please recommend it to a friend. I really think that's the best way to get our podcast out there. We really appreciate you listening. If you have any questions, if you have more thoughts in the Marvel Universe, if there are things that we didn't cover or we don't understand about the Bifrost, please email us at betterthantransformers@gmail.com. You can also reach us on Twitter @BTTransformers and on Facebook @BTTransformers. Thank you to Zach Evans for our art and Brian Velasquez for our theme. And I don't know what we're going to do next week. Oh, no, we're doing
Phase 2, bro.
We're doing Phase 2, bruh. Yeah. So, yeah.
Avengers all month. No, thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Good deuces.